I am going to share with you 40 ideas that I came up with to make the 2021-2022 school year the best school year ever. I know you're waiting for me to say it. We're wasting time. Hello, Hotties. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Ali Mack, and I am currently a 7th grade math teacher. You know, while you're here, go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any other videos from me. Do it now. So, when we were wrapping up school last year, which was, let's be real, last week, I started reflecting and thinking about all the mistakes I made for the 2020-2021 school year. And I was thinking to myself, what could I do this coming up school year to make it better, to make next year better and the best year I've ever had? So all of you that follow my channel, you know that I keep a bullet journal, and one thing great about bullet journals is you can just randomly jot down ideas, whereas a regular planner doesn't really have all that. So, okay. I just lose glasses, too much glare. Okay, what I was saying was I started jotting down ideas for the upcoming school year, and I came up with at least 40. So the point of this video is for me to share with you my random crazy ideas that I came up with, and maybe perhaps you can steal some of your own, or you can expand on these ideas. Also, if you hear an idea that you think is good but you have a suggestion on how to make it better, I would love your feedback. So if this sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm ready when you are. So before I start off this list, I wanted you to know that I have a cluster of ideas that are surrounding the idea that every student will have a folder. If you don't know, the last 2 years, I purchased students' notebooks. Well, I purchased, and the school helped me purchase notebooks for every single student. And it worked okay the first year, but the second year they started using it for other classes and using paper from that because, you know, the teachers changed class, not the students. So I couldn't monitor them as easily as I wanted to. So the first cluster of ideas starts off around the idea that every student will have a folder, not a plastic one, a paper folder with the 3 little brads in the middle, 2 folders, that kind of folder. Super cheap, and I figured if I could purchase every kid a folder, they're usually very, very cheap, and I'm just going to be collecting them all summer. So with that little backstory, if you will, let's get into my list. So the first idea is every student will get a folder, and I will pass out a table of contents page, an about me page, and some notebook paper, and we will label the folder. Also, I just want to show you that their table of contents will kind of look like my index. I might have the first couple of things filled out for them, but the rest will be places for them to fill out as we go. I plan to give students guided notes and handouts already with holes in them so they can stick them inside the 3 little brads. Do they call them brads? I don't know what they're called, but the 3 little things in the middle that keep your papers in securely. They're going to put those kind of things in the folder in chronological order with page numbers. Some parents would call and complain that we didn't let the kids take their notebooks home. I would usually let the responsible ones take them home and bring them back, but it's a valid question. Why can't my kid bring the notebook home to study notes? I get it. So at least with the folder idea, they don't have to take the whole notebook home. They can just take home the page or pages that are relevant to what we are doing the following day. That was idea number 2. Number 3, a master folder will be kept, so all notes and handouts will keep on going, and I will have several of these going. And so like some days I might have to make copies of students' notes or whatever, so that way I have a stack of these bad boys on the shelf, so anytime I have a new student, they are all caught up. Idea number 4, I'm going to put stickers on the folders of kids that are doing exceptional, and after so many stickers, they're going to get a prize or a small treat. Idea number 5, I'm going to give students a bell ringer sheet on Monday, and in that it's going to have for 5 days, and so that way every day they grab their folder, they open up, they do the bell ringer assignment for that day. Now, I have done this in the past, but my problem was the students could not keep up with the sheet of paper. They couldn't. So at least if the folder stays with me, doesn't leave, they're more likely to keep up with it. Number 6, when I give exit tickets, they're gonna go in the folder, and the goal is that I'll go through their folders and check them at the end of each class. We'll see if I have time for that, but it's a work in progress. Idea number 7, possibly give activities for the entire week on Monday. That way I don't have to keep passing stuff out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so forth and so on. Number 8, I will give them a new folder every quarter. Number 9, folders will be graded. One, it'll be a test grade. They'll turn in their quarter 1 or quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 folder at the end of every 9 weeks, and it will be a test grade. Number 10, this is a good one. Folders can be used on tests. Idea number 11, the reference sheet that they will be allowed to use on the state test will be stapled or taped inside the folder. So like, you have your folder and it opens up. If you get the plastic ones, it's hard to staple things to keep them in place. Number 12, calendars each month to highlight events and tests and homework will be handed out every month. Number 13, I don't know if your school does iReady, but my students are terrible at taking notes while they do iReady. A lot of the times it's because they don't listen to the lesson, which gives me an idea that I'll mention in a minute. But I'm gonna have a space for them to take notes for iReady, and I'm gonna teach them what I expect before they do this, obviously. Number 14, I want to give more feedback. I feel like I could do much better at giving feedback, and I got better at it as this school year progressed, but that's one thing I could do better with. Number 15, kids work 70% of the class. I know that I'm really bad about wanting to show them and do it for them, which I've been told that's not the way we should do. So my goal is going to be that 70% of the time the kids are going to be working and not me. Number 16, this is what I was talking about with the iReady. So the students don't listen to lessons. So I'm thinking about going old school. When I first started this school, we did not have enough headphones for everybody. So they listened to the lesson real low. So you could hear everybody's lesson around the room and no one really paid attention to it. So I think I'm gonna bring that back and not allow them to use headphones during iReady and make it where I can hear the lesson too softly. So while I'm walking around, I know exactly what they're listening to, and it'll make it easier for me to cue them when to take notes, or for them to take notes and to actually understand the lesson. Because one of my pet peeves with iReady is they won't listen to the lesson, they'll click through, then they'll ask me for help, and I'm just like, why didn't you listen to the lesson? Idea number 17. I plan on, Lord help me, printing out all the standards for the school year from the Department of Education website for Mississippi for my state. And if you decide to use this idea, you can use it for your state. I plan on printing them, laminating them, and putting them on a wall, designated on a wall, like a chart. So I'm gonna have each class as the X and the standards as the Y. And as we start going through and going on with our stuff, I will put what percent of the class has mastered that standard. So that way they can see what we're responsible for. I might even get like a clothesline pin. I'm not good with my words, y'all just know this. I think you know this, but a clothesline pin on the standard we're currently working on, and then that way whenever I reference my focus question, it'll make more sense where that question came from. All right, so idea number 18, give out progress reports of each test so students can see which standards they have mastered and which ones they have not. Idea number 19, I'm going to have a Quizy-Poo board. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you've seen this. It'll have a spot for question 1, 2, 3, overall percentage for each class. So if you're new with me, my Quizy-Poos are 3-question quizzes I give to students daily on one standard. So I always start with the first standard we're expected to teach, and I keep on giving them Quizy-Poos on that standard until they've mastered it. Then we move on to the next standard, and then so forth and so on. And in theory, by the time we get to the end of the school year, they would have mastered everything. Hasn't happened yet because we've had things going on, but I'm feeling good about this year. Idea number 20. If you are not familiar with iReady and their workbooks, before you begin any lesson in their book, they have what I love. It is called the family letter. And in the family letter, it tells students and parents what they're learning, and if it need be, it shows them different ways to solve and just gives you information about the lesson. So my idea number 20 is to have them gently take out the family letters and stick it in their notebooks so they have that page as a reference. Idea number 21, create lesson plans for my remediation and be specific to what the students need. So basically this last year when we did remediation, I basically just did a generic plan for everybody, which is kind of not the point in all that. The point is to customize it so the kids got what they need and they didn't get what their friend needed. You know what I mean? Okay, so, but a lot of this stuff, it just, time is a thing. Idea number 22, at the beginning of the school year, I'm gonna have students complete the Howard Gardner Multiple Intelligence Quiz. We're gonna print it out, put it in a folder. That way they can see how they learn best, and hopefully that will help them in the future. Number 23, I am going to give them a how can I help my future self page. And we're gonna talk about future self. And I tell them, you know, what could you do? Imagine what you'd be in 10, 15 years. And they sit there and imagine. And then I ask them, what are they doing? And they tell me what they're doing and what they're seeing and what their life looks like. And then I tell them, or I ask them, wouldn't you do everything you could to help that person out? And they're all like, yeah. So I'm like, that's your future self. You need to take care of future you. And I didn't start that till the end of this school year. And I wish I would have put more emphasis on that. My husband is always talking about, oh, I just helped my future self out, or I did that for my future self. And I just think that's a nice idea, because we should love ourselves, right? And we should do everything we can to protect our future selves. Okay, idea number 24, give students a page to record their daily and test grades, and we're gonna stick this somewhere inside that folder. 25, I'm gonna keep doing what I was doing with Google Classroom with grading, weekly setup, and assignments. So just in a nutshell, and I'm sure a lot of you do this too, but what I did was I had a virtual class, I had 4 traditional classes. So basically what I did is when I posted an assignment for Google Classroom for the virtual kids, I'd also attach it to all the other students. And no matter what activity we did for the day, even if it didn't match, when my traditional students would complete it and turn it in, I would put that in the Google Classroom as their grade for that daily activity, if that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of you all did that already, but I just thought of it this school year. So I'm a little slow, but at least I got it, right? Idea 26, when the students come in my room, we're going back to the grab your folder, calculator, workbook, pencil, sit, start working on the bell assignment that will be in the folder. Idea 27, allow the students to leave the class row by row, returning all borrowed materials to me. Idea 28, okay, this is, you younger teachers might not get this, and granted, maybe no other teachers will get this but me, but I might have my students wear name tags the first week. As I've gotten older and as the school years have gone on, I'm having a hard time remembering their names. I used to have a hard time, but now it takes me a little bit longer, and so I might need to get them to wear name tags so I can learn their names quickly. Probably just me. Idea number 29, buy lots of Sharpies, folders, staples, calculators, notebooks, paper, dry erase markers. You know, the normal stuff teachers buy. 30, utilize whiteboards for instant feedback. So, used to, I kind of got rid of the whiteboard thing, but I think I'm going to bring it back because dry erase markers are hard to keep up with, but I'm just gonna have to be really a lot smarter with it, because it is amazing for instant feedback if you're trying to get away from technology. Idea 31, keep a binder of each class, write feedback and insights on each kid as we see them. Because a lot of times, there's always that quiet one that kind of suffers in silence, that I'm so busy paying attention to the loud kid that I forget about them. I'm going to make sure that I reflect. I'm going to try so hard to reflect on every child, every day. And kids that I don't have enough reflections on, I'm going to make an effort to build those relationships. 32, stick with the pacing. I did not do well with sticking to the pacing the last 2 school years, and I think there's just a lot of underlying things, as we know, that conflicted with that. But I'm going to stick with the pacing, move on, even though it tells me everything in my gut you're not supposed to move on until the kids mastered it. But I'll keep teaching it somehow. And also I would like to add that It had been a while since I had an honors class, and I had an honors class this year. What I should have did was plan for them, because they were grade level and above, and then somehow scaffold back and let the other kids catch up to them. Where I messed up was is I planned for all the classes but the honors, and they just got the non-honors class lesson. What ended up happening is they talked so darn much that you ended up getting through the same material, but that might have been because it was the end of the day, and just, anyway, we'll move on. That was idea 33, by the way. Teach to the highest level. Idea 34. No calculators the first 9 weeks. These kids trust the calculator more than themselves, and that is a problem. I'm going to give students a handout with my test taking strategy plan that I came up with at the end of the school year to help them do well on the state test. That'll be in a different video because I don't want this video to get too long, but basically I'm going to teach them that from the beginning, so it'll be, you know, it'll just be their thing they do during tests by the time that thing gets here. Possibly give out a button calculator cheat sheet for the second 9 weeks and forward, because a lot of times the kids don't know how to put it in the calculator. So maybe as we learn new skills, I'll teach them how to do it by hand and then show them the combination of the buttons in the calculator. 37 was to give students a pacing guide. Whenever I give out the calendar, have the pacing guide on it. I'm not sure, this might be good and it might be bad, but it's an idea. I'm still toying with it. Idea 38. I will have a new student section in Google Classroom or on my school website. So whenever my new student comes in, I'm basically training them how to be a student in my class. I had a lot of problems this year where I'd have new students come in and I didn't have time to really teach them the new procedures and stuff. And so it just would be better to know they know what I expect. That way there's no questions later. Idea 39, start creating a master folder. Way I can get started on now, and I'll know exactly what I'm doing and how to plan my lessons. Okay, so that's 39 ideas, and I know I told you over 40. So let me tell you what I will not do again. I will not allow students to listen to music during iReady. I will not allow eating of any kind, and I will not allow cell phones to be seen ever, period. We were very lenient this year because of COVID, but it got out of hand. Same with the dress code. Okay, so I think that was 40 things, I guess. All right, that is it for this video. If you found it helpful, informative, or even entertaining, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below the light bulb emoji, or you could just tell me an idea that you have for the upcoming school year. All right, you guys, it's been fun. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Hope you have the best day ever. Goodbye.